Ukraine soldiers raid Crimea successfully, and the BRICS nation expand 6 new members. How does that change the geopolitical road? And Italy has a new surprise to the investors. These are the things we're going to be discussing in today's video. Hi, welcome to Crypto Vagabonds YouTube channel. In this channel, we talk about cryptocurrencies, geopolitics, microfinance, and everything else that may affect the performance of your favorite crypto asset. If you do like this kind of content, please subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell. Now let's get into today's video. And as usual, we're going to begin with Bloomberg. And Bloomberg talks about Putin bolsters power base after Prigozhin dies on plane crash. Let's look at this. Again, just a few highlight parts. The plane crash that killed Wagner founder Prigozhin restored Vladimir Putin's reputation as Russia's unchangeable leader for many countries' elite, even as the cause of the disasters may never be fully established. The thing is undeniable that the most easy assumption is that Vladimir Putin has killed Prigozhin. And if that assumption is correct, that means Vladimir Putin is not willing to take any challenging on his power on Russia. Now, Russian authorities are believed to have sent genetic material for testing in Moscow. No formal identification has been made yet, meaning they are not certain that Prigozhin was on board of the plane. Now, what is your view? Do you think he was on the plane, he's dead? Or was just a stage death like they did in 2018. You can see here, Putin's president is already making preparation for his bid to secure his 5th term in March 2024 elections. He's doing so now with many in the elite convinced that he has regained his authority and demonstrated his strength after months of confusion after the political fallout of the Wagner rebellion. So it seems like Prigozhin going to Moscow, not being successful, and now possibly killed by Vladimir Putin has given Vladimir Putin more power in Russia. And since we talk about Russia, and Russia is part of the BRICS nation, let's see what happens on the BRICS nation. We see it here that they add 6 new countries. You can see here 6 more countries: Saudi Arabia, Iran, Egypt, Argentina, Ethiopia, and UAE. Now, when I see this list, I have to ask myself, why Saudi Arabia? Why Iran? Why Egypt? Why Argentina? Why Ethiopia? And why UAE? So the question that I have asked here is why? Because I believe the only plausible explanation is that China is pushing for the expansion. And if China is pushing for the expansion, you have to see what does China has to gain. Now, when you look at Argentina, Argentina has only to win with being part of BRICS. For instance, Argentina, we know, is a weak country, is going through a lot of problems. It can no longer get loans. The banks, the BRIC banks giving loans to Argentina, it is good for Argentina, and it is also good for China, because China will now have Argentina having that to China. Same thing for Ethiopia. Now, 2 countries that to me is a bit more complex to explain is Saudi Arabia and Iran. So my answer on Iran is right here. Iran is very significant for Russia because here is Iran. Now, Russia has tried to invade Afghanistan, which is here, in order to possibly eventually get access to the sea. Now, with the partnership of BRICS and Iran joining the BRICS, that means now Russia can have access to the sea via Iran. Iran is a very large country, has a very good location, so Russia can now get easier access to the sea via Iran. So I can see how Iran is a huge benefit for Russia, and I can see China and Russia benefiting on the partnership of Iran. Now, the other country that requires a bit more explanation is Saudi Arabia. Why would Saudi Arabia be part of BRICS? In my view, and a few discussions that I have with a few other friends just before shooting this video, and the answer is petrol. If Saudi Arabia is now part of the BRICS, that means Saudi Arabia will continue to sell petrol to China, be able to sell petrol to India. And here's the thing, China benefits gratefully with Saudi Arabia becoming a member of BRICS nation, because what happened is now they're going to make a deal, and guess what? They're going to be able to trade their BRICS currency with Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia will be accepting possibly the R5 currency, which is the currency of the BRICS, and that will be a way of China is beginning to hurt the US dollar. I don't think they're going to be able to dethrone the dollar, but will further weaken the dollar. With Saudi Arabia becoming part of the BRICS and they signing a deal where Saudi Arabia can now accept the BRICS nation currency, which is R5, in exchange for the dollar, that will benefit China. And that is a way of Saudi Arabia really pissing off the US. So that's my view. Now, I cannot make sense of Ethiopia. I can kind of understand UAE, but to me the key countries is Iran and Saudi Arabia. Iran gives territorial benefit to Russia, and Saudi Arabia gives the possibility of their currency becoming a bit stronger, because remember, the US petrodollar or the US dollar only exists because of the petrodollar, a deal where Saudi Arabia demands dollar for their petrol. So that's the reason I believe Xi Jinping have pushed for the acceptance of Saudi Arabia, and Saudi Arabia is doing this as a way to piss off the US. I think that's my theory. Now, what is your theory? Please let me know on the comments below. Now, Ukrainian special forces have staged a nighttime raid on occupied Crimea. So here's what happened. The commandos attacked Russian position, destroyed military equipment, and hoist a Ukrainian flag before returning to the base without casualties. At least that's what they say. That's what they allege to have been done. There's a video here that shows some footage of what they did. Let me see if I can play that for you guys. So you can see here, they're approaching, and they hang the flag on Crimea. And of course, they left after that, according to them, without any casualties. And I think this is a confrontation that, of course, will demand a response from Russia. And also maybe a way of them saying, we will come for Crimea, and we're going to get Crimea back before December, as has been promised. Now, before we go into crypto, let's look at Italy. Italy has new rules on bad loan sales that could be another blow for investors. You can see here, Meloni's administration is seeking to finalize a new framework that would allow individuals and small corporate borrowers to repay that went sour in previous years for a fraction of their nominal value. I think the investors and the bankers will not enjoy this. It is something that she's been pushing. I don't think it's going to be good, and I think that will only push the investment away from Italy. So that was on the traditional market and geopolitics. There is not much happening on the crypto space. Let's look at the price performance of BTC. It continues to go sideways. You can see here at 26.89. And later today, Jerome Powell will be speaking, and I'm curious about what that will do to the price. It seems to be, let's look at the Bitcoin right now. The price is 26.08941 cents as I shoot this video. Let's look on the 7 days mark. It has been as much as 26.6. Let's see here. Yes, 26.6 has been the highest, and the lowest has been 25.6. So it's oscillating between $1,000 up and down around 26. My view is that Jerome Powell is going to be speaking later today, and I'm curious how that would affect the price of Bitcoin. So I'll keep you informed on Jerome Powell's speech, and let's see what that does to the price. In my view, there's still a chance for deflationary pressure, meaning the price going down. If you like this video, please click like, subscribe, and click the notification bell so you'll be notified as soon as I make the next video. That was all for today. See you guys on the next video.